Hey guys, YouTuber Predator. Okay, and like I said I was going to do in my last video, uh, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the two WarGames matches at Survivor Series last night. So now this is the second year in a row that the WWE has now, had the WarGames match be contested at Survivor Series. So I can only presume that this is now going to be an annual thing for Survivor Series rather than it being entirely Raw versus SmackDown like it was up until last year for the last several years. Yeah, now they're done away with that concept, and it appears that now they're going to be having the War Games matches at Survivor Series. Is now. And last night with the two War Games matches, I actually really did enjoy both of them. Like both of them were pretty great matches. Yeah, WWE has really gone all out with these War Games matches. Yeah, like now that they've brought this match to the main roster, they really have gone all out with it, and they really have done great with these matches. Like the two War Games matches last year were really awesome. And the War Games matches last night were pretty great too. Yeah. So WWE is really they're doing this thing right. So it is good that they did finally decide to bring the War Games match to the main roster. I remember I was saying last year how like ever since WCW went out of business, people have really been clamoring for WWE to bring the match back. Yeah, and it's good to see that they have. I know for like uh the match has been on contested for NXT, but now seeing it on the main roster, it really is a great thing to see. Even if they have a change of the matchup, like I talked about this last year, how the rules have kind of been changed just a little bit in the WWE from how the matches format originally was in WCW. yeah, so that is something that I'm not too keen on. I would have really preferred that WWE really stick to the WCW format of the War Games match, but it's really not a huge deal because it really doesn't affect the matches in any way. Yeah, because last night, like I said, they were a pretty great matches last night. All right, so I'll just talk about the matches. All right, so I'll start with the women's War Games match that opened up the show last night. Yeah, the Women's War Games match had Bianca Belair, Charlotte, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, which consisted of Bailey, Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. And this really was a pretty awesome War Games match. I know there's probably going to be people out there that are really going to complain about the women being in War Games and how the women don't belong in War Games and all this other crap. Yeah, but the women actually have done really awesome in the War Games match. Last year's women's War Games match was pretty great, and this one was too. So people are just gonna people are just haters looking to complain if they really are gonna say that stuff about the women not belonging in the war games and stuff. Yeah, something I really don't really understand though is going back to how WWE has sort of changed the format for the match a little bit is why do they have the teams locked up in cages in the entranceway until it's their time to join the match why don't they just have the other combatants just wait backstage until it's their time to come out? Why are they having them being locked in cages in the entranceway? I really don't understand that. But this match really was pretty awesome. It really did have some great spots, a lot of weapon use in the match. Basically every time a new combatant joined the match, they would always get a weapon from under the ring to bring inside of the cage. You had a whole bunch of kendo sticks being used in the match. There were some chairs, a chain. some trash cans, trash can lids, um, a table, and yeah, so just like there was a whole bunch of weapons used in this match. Yeah. Yeah, and the women really did do like a pretty great in this match. Yeah, I like how I did like the miss spots in the match. Yeah, and of course like there were like the two dives from off the top of the cage onto everybody inside of the rings. Yeah, that was a pretty cool spot. Yeah, and it really was just like a lot of really like awesome action between the two teams. Yeah, I did like how like when all of Damage Control did like a join in, like they really just were like a Bianca's team were just like all down, and then like all of Damage Control like armed themselves with kendo sticks to really beat them down. Yeah, and then uh yeah, and like I said, the two like spots off of uh, the diving off the cage was were pretty cool. Like I really did like Charlotte's like moonsault from the top of the cage down to everybody. And like I said, the spots with the mist was pretty awesome. Like I did like how Asuka tried to spit the mist but failed, and then Bianca like answered back with a fire extinguisher, her blowing that into Asuka's face. Yeah, and then and then yeah, and I yeah, and then and of course just a whole bunch of weapons used in the match. Like all of 8 women did do really well in this match. Yeah, and plus the ending was also pretty cool with like Bianca and her team setting up a table, and then Becky Lynch then hitting a manhandle slam on the second rope to Bailey through a table, and then that allowed Becky, Shotzi, Charlotte, and Bianca to win. But yeah, so I really did like this match. I really did like how they really did use like a whole bunch of weapons here, and they really showed how this is not like some this really is an example of how the Divas division really is not just like some like a Barbie diva uh division where the women are just like really like not really set around wrestling, and they're all just about looks, and just how the women's division was like total trash like it has been before, like before this whole women's revolution stuff. So this really has shown how the women's division really is really being taken much more seriously now. And in the last several years, what they've done with the women's division, it really is one of the best sort. It really is the best women have really ever been treated in the WWE, and they're not just all about Barbie stuff anymore. Yeah, so so I really did like this a lot. If you didn't watch this match last night, give it a watch, because this really does show how women can be treated the same way as the men in wrestling now. Because this match really was just a pure example of what women can really do in wrestling. So really did like this match a lot. Now, was Bianca, Charlotte, Shotzi, and a Becky winning, was that the right way to go? I guess that is up for debate. I have seen it both ways. I really have heard some people saying how Damage Control really should have won. I guess that is up for debate, but me personally, the win doesn't really bother me, and and it's really not the end of the world. Damage Control really isn't done. So some more can really come out of this. So the women's War Games match really was a pretty awesome match. All right, and now let's get to the men's War Games match. This was the main event of the show. Yeah, yeah, and this pitted the Judgment Day, which is of course is Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic, and JD McDonough, as well as Drew McIntyre, up against Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and the returning Randy Orton. Yeah. So if you did watch Survivor Series last night, it showed how Randy Orton initially didn't actually join the team when they were locked into the cage. So yeah, so Randy Orton like wasn't even like around at first. Yeah. And yeah, and just like the women's war games match, like yeah, this really was like a pretty awesome match too. Like yeah, both teams really did look really great in the match. Like yeah, there were like some more weapon use in the match, and this time like they really did like get some weapons from actually like inside of the cage. Like at one point, like Sami Zayn actually like got I think it was Sami Zayn. Yeah, he actually did like get one of the pipes that was inside of the cage. Yeah, and yeah, and we also did have like some chairs and tables and other stuff like used in this match. And yeah, and then like it just like went back and forth, and then as Seth Rollins like did like get the upper hand, like and JD McDonough like when he entered the match, like he like turned the tide into like a Judgment Day's favorite, yeah. And then of course there was like some story between Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso heading into this match, like with the past with like Jey Uso was part of the bloodline, like attacking Drew McIntyre and even like costing him a chance to become like the undisputed champion before. So yeah, there was like that story with this match with Drew McIntyre like targeting Jey Uso due to that. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, and then at one point like uh then Damian Priest then hit like a razor's edge to Seth Rollins through a table. Yeah, and then like when it came time, like the final one to join the match was like of course a Randy Orton. Yeah, initially Randy Orton didn't actually like show, and then like Damian Priest like waved Rhea Ripley out to try to like cash in Money in the Bank for him. But before the Money in the Bank could actually be cashed in, then Randy Orton then came out. Randy Orton's music then hit, and Randy Orton came out. So yeah, so it was nice to see Randy Orton back. Like he's been gone for like a year and a half after like the double fusion back surgery and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, so it was nice to finally see Randy Orton back in the WWE. Yeah, and when Randy Orton like came out, like he then like took out Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Right, and then there was a cool spot where like the entire team ended up giving like the second rope DDT to all of the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Yeah, and then it looked like Randy Orton was gonna go face to face with Jey Uso because yeah, of course, like the Bloodline was also like responsible for putting Randy Orton out of action for the last 18 months. So yeah, so it looked like Randy Orton and Jey Uso were gonna go face to face. Yeah, but yeah, that was intercepted when Jey Uso like ended up like hitting a super kick on Damian Priest, and then Randy Orton hit an RKO on Dominic. Yeah. And then there was like a pretty cool ending with JD McDonald like being chased at the top of the cage, and then like Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins threw him back down to Randy Orton, and then as he was falling down, Randy Orton then hit McDonald with an RKO, and then Cody Rhodes then hit a crossroads on Damian Priest and then pinned him. So yeah, so Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton won the match. So yeah, so this really was like a pretty awesome match as well. Some great spots, and yeah, and a pretty cool ending with the RKO to JD McDonough. Yeah, and plus seeing Randy Orton return last night was like pretty great as well. So yeah, so that was a pretty awesome match as well. So yeah, so it's really hard for me to really decide which War Games match really was better because both really were like pretty great matches. So yeah, so I really would recommend both of them if you didn't watch Survivor Series last night. Like, give both of these matches a watch because yeah, both of them are really awesome matches and just show like how well WWE is really handling bringing the War Games match to the main roster. So yeah, so both War Games matches last night were pretty awesome. Yeah, but before the show actually did like go off the air last night, like there was like one more moment that happened on the show, and that was of course the return of CM Punk. Yeah, so just wow. CM Punk actually returning to WWE. I never thought I would have seen the day that CM Punk actually did would step back into the WWE. I mean, just man, just seeing CM Punk back was just such a freaking awesome moment. I mean, after seeing like Edge recently, like going to AEW, which is honestly a pretty arrogant move from him. Yeah, CM Punk coming back to WWE was just so great to see. Yeah, went around that like he may have like returned, but yeah, there was also like stuff saying that like it wasn't gonna happen. Yeah, but then like we do see CM Punk did actually come back to WWE, and the crowd went absolutely nuts. But of course, like this was in like CM Punk's hometown of Chicago. So yeah, so it's great to see like every time CM basically when CM Punk comes to his hometown, like there's always like such a great reaction from the crowd. Like who can forget like a Money in the Bank 2011, and then we had last night. So yeah, it really is just like awesome to see CM Punk back. Now, what is the role going to be for him? I really don't know, like what his role really is going to be. Like, is this like a full time return, or is he just going to be making sporadic appearances, or what? I really don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait to see if CM Punk actually does appear on Raw tomorrow night, and yeah, we'll just see like what role CM Punk really is going to have with being back in the WWE now. Yeah, but yeah, regardless of what direction they go with this, yeah, it is just great to see CM Punk finally returning to WWE after almost a decade of being away. So yeah, so that was an awesome way to really end the show last night. So yeah, so so what can I say? Just yeah, I mean both War Games matches last night were really awesome, and plus CM Punk returning last night was a great moment as well. So yeah, so both War Games matches really just yeah, I give both of them big thumbs up. Both were really awesome last night. So if you didn't watch Survivor Series last night, give both these matches a watch because yeah, like I said, this really does show like how well WWE is really handling bringing the War Games match to the main roster. Yeah, so hopefully like this will continue with future Survivor Series events. All right. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the two War Games matches at Survivor Series last night. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about them. Yeah, and let me know what you thought about them and how you feel about CM Punk's return and how you think this is going to be handled. All right, all right. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about them. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.